A question we get asked surprisingly often is how often do we actually shoot content? Well, we shoot every day of the week. Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, we are in our studios and we're here till 5 o'clock. Well, it's a Sunday afternoon and we're in the studio. You know that means it's gotta be for something special, and we have something very special today. Yes, this is the 2024 Mustang RTR Spec 2 in our studio. It was barely 10 days ago. We went down to Florida for a Tokyo Drift style RTR party to debut this car. We just got to see it. Vaughn told us all about it, what went into it, and now it's here. Like, this is absolutely amazing. A few days ago, we actually got to go for a ride in it, but in case you're somehow not familiar with RTR, RTR is the brainchild of Vaughn Gittin Jr., Formula Drift champion, Ultra 4 champion, marketing genius, and just badass wheelman. And RTR stands for Ready to Rock. It's how Vaughn lives his life and how he builds his cars. And we have Josh here from RTR to tell us all about the Spec 2 Mustang, and the best of all, he's gonna take us for a ride. So we got Josh here from RTR, and dude, you keep showing up with stuff like this. We're gonna invite you a lot more often. But he is going to tell us all about the Spec 2, tell you what is done to this car to make it into an RTR vehicle, and then tell you how you can get your hands on one. So Josh, tell us about this package.
Well, first, thanks for having me. We're literally fresh off the show field at Ford National, so happy to be here at CJ. The RTR Mustang Spec 2 is really a realization of all of Vaughn's hard work. You know, 12 years of drifting and just having fun every single day, and here we are on our 2024 S650 Mustang Spec 2, and this thing is just decked out with everything you can do. I mean, the Mustang Spec 2 is really all about total functionality, ready to rock, but ready for everything.
And Vaughn even said he feels this is the best Mustang yet,
Truly
and possibly
is.
the best RTR yet.
Yeah, I mean, I've been around the brand for quite a while, not just as an employee, but as a person as a fan.
Yep.
I used to sell the product when I was in the dealership world, and just keeps getting better and better and better. And this truly is. I didn't want to see the car fully built until the reveal last week. So I waited. I was there when we had our first car and we were kind of just messing around building it. And then I waited and saw the full production new with some of these guys here as well.
So you saw it like we did?
I saw it literally like you did.
We were up there. That was the first time you saw it too.
The afternoon you were there, the first time I saw it was 3 hours before.
That was cool.
So it was cool just to see the whole car come together and come to life. And even though it is still pre-production, it's just awesome.
Well, cool. Take us through this car and then tell us, again, show us what exactly comes with that Spec 2 pack.
Perfect. All right, so the first thing that makes any RTR vehicle, or really the RTR stable product of our whole lineup, is our signature LED grille. And with the S650, we went a step further than just a single solid LED on either side. We went with this wormhole. I kind of like to think it of like a Marty McFly flux capacitor feel, as if the car was moving through space and time, which is kind of the inspiration that our designer took with the car. So you have your upper LED signature grille, you have a high flow lower grille. With this, because they have the larger corner pockets, we went with actually corner grills, and then this dramatic front chin spoiler that really accentuates the whole front end that Ford redesigned on this Mustang. And then of course, to get the heat out, we did an oversized heat extractor for the hood. Everything on the front end is designed for upgraded aero over stock, which is really important to increase the performance of the vehicle. Whether you have a supercharger or you're tuning, or even you just stay naturally aspirated, it's always important for aero, and Vaughn and Chelsea and the whole team are very big on that, so all of our parts are inspired to do the same. The good thing is though this is all serialized RTR Spec 2, all these components will be available for individual sale, whether you want to do it on your Mustang GT, your base, your premium. Even some of these parts will fit EcoBoost, so we really have a piece for everyone. And then going around to continue on with the Spec 2, we have these signature Aero 5 wheels. These are going to be our first wheel option on the Spec 2 and the Spec 1 for this generation. We have several other wheels that you can choose from. The cool thing about RTR is Vaughn loves to give the customers a choice to customize, which is really important to me and really important to our brand. So the Aero 5s are going to be available in 3 different colors: black, charcoal, and we're going to have a bronze pack. And then to accentuate kind of the curves and the hips of the Mustang, we have these larger side skirts, we have rear quarter splitters, and then it all kind of tapers back into this duckbill spoiler that will fit on any GT model, and we will also have a performance pack gurney flap extension. So that's going to be coming soon, and later in August when these are available. And moving to the interior, we have a couple different pieces that bring it all together. We have the RTR floor mats. We also have a performance shifter unit that'll be available for the automatic and the manual. And then when we get into our late availability with our allocation built units, we're gonna have RTR leather for both Recaro and the standard seats. The big thing that makes this car specifically different to someone who maybe decides to get all the different pieces from a retail component is the serialized dash black. That's gonna tell you what it is, what spec it is, what number you are, and then also have a stamped signature with Von Gittin. And the serialization comes in a couple different ways. We have our standard speed block graphics, as well as the RTR badges throughout. If you do get any of these components from a retail's perspective, those badges won't be included. That's what kind of separates a true RTR Spec 2 from something that's RTR equipped. And what really sets this apart from some of our lower package is the full suspension setup. Tactical performance suspension, fully adjustable. You have a lowering spring, you have adjustable strut and shocks, as well as front and rear sway bars. And that really ties it together with what Von meant for this RTR Spec 2. It's ready for anything. It's ready to go, whether it's track, street, or anything in between.
So Josh is about to take me for a ride in this Spec 2, and I'm excited about it. But believe it or not, I'm actually not the first employee to get a ride in this car. That honor goes to Corey over here, our co-host. He does our truck channel and our Bronco stuff. So Corey, tell us about your Friday afternoon.
So yeah, it was pretty awesome. I ended up getting the opportunity to actually interview Von about the Bronco and RTR's involvement with that. And then afterwards, I got lucky enough to actually go on a ride along, which I'm still pretty hyped about. I've been watching Von since Drift Alliance days, so long time ago. And to be able to get a ride along with him was just an amazing experience. I'm definitely never going to be able to forget that. Now, as far as this goes, this is an amazing machine. It's super planted, it transitions very well. I would say it could use some bucket seats in there because you are flying around the entire time. But as far as the factory handbrake in it, it locks up almost instantaneously. And one other thing that was pretty cool was the G-force monitor actually on the main screen there. Basically, every time he was transitioning, you could watch all the G-force on the screen just kind of sway over, which was super cool to see. But yeah, I'm just super blessed for the opportunity, and I couldn't be more thankful for it.
He took you for a real ride, too. That wasn't like, you know, a small little autocross.
No, it was a good one.
He put this car through the paces as only Vaughn can. But all right, you ready to go for a ride? Now it's my turn. I don't get to drive with Vaughn, but all right, you'll do it. Let's do it. Yeah, like this looks like a completely different car.
Yeah.
But everything else here kind of.
Yeah, with the exception of, you know,
they moved this. One.
Yeah, they moved it over.
That's the truck one. But this, yeah, this looks, I mean, this is a little different.
Yeah, as far as like the finish or like the texture that they use, it's definitely updated a little different, but it does feel very familiar. So if you are updating from like S550 to this, I think you'll take to it right away.
It's gonna feel like home.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like the vent change. I mean, the round vents were kind of cool, but I sort of like now that it's a little bit lower. It's more in front of you. So obviously you've been doing this about as long as I have, it seems. You've been in a lot of different companies. You've driven lots of S550s. One of the, not complaints, but concerns people had about the 650 or the 7th generation Mustang was that the chassis was going to be basically the same as it was.
Yeah.
So the car would drive the same. And the changes, the Spec 2 package, obviously performance updates, we have suspension, we have all the splitters and stuff like that. At this time, though, no engine enhancements, correct?
No engine enhancements. The engine enhancements are going to come in a couple different forms. Our future models, in years past, we've had Spec 3, Spec 5, which has always been supercharged and wide-bodied, and it had a coilover setup on it, so really took it to the next level. And I think that Ford has just become more selective with how they're letting that information and that access get out there. They really value who's working with the cars.
Approved tuners.
I mean, and obviously Ford Performance is going to release those.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard I heard a lot of rumblings at PRI this year.
Yeah.
Some at the show, some a few drinks afterwards. About what that was going to look like, and I'm excited to see it. I mean, I like the dash. Again, I told you, Mike, I was concerned about this, and I get some people say it looks like it's kind of stuck on there, but it does blend.
No, I think it flows really well.
It does flow well.
Yeah.
I love the steering wheel. I absolutely love the steering wheel.
They finally put a flat bottom steering wheel in here, and it's perfect. You know, I think of all the people who did aftermarket steering wheels, that was like the first thing they did was add a flat bottom. The fact that this is in here after multiple ST models have had a flat bottom steering wheel first, this is a perfect steering wheel.
I'm going to say I hate that it's going to hurt our sales, but most people aren't going to replace that.
No,
that is a good looking steering wheel.
It's nice. It has great grip to it. I think even the button layout, I think, is finally like perfect.
Okay.
Year after year, you see Ford rearrange the buttons on the steering wheel, and sometimes they just don't make sense.
Drives me nuts.
Like the audio control should be here, not here.
Went from 15 to 18, they moved it over. Then I got a Shelby, which is a 19, but they moved it back to the 15 to 17.
Yes. So I think
I drive our company car, and I'm always like hitting the menu trying to turn the volume
I think
up.
they finally took the notes and said, okay, this is the way it should lay out.
But the wireless charging pad and the stitches, I love the start button. It just has a really cool look to it. And I dig the interior.
Like super simple is what they went for. And I think that it's just great. I mean, you still have all the controls in touchscreen, but like just this stuff, like 6 buttons and that's it.
And they're ones you use.
They're one you have to.
Even the turn signal sounds different.
Yeah.
It's you nailed it though. Familiar yet different.
Yeah.
Anybody coming from an S550 to this car is gonna feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But you'll still have a few days of learning where everything is and how it works.
Now, somebody coming from like an S197, this is going to be leaps and bounds.
Yeah, it's a different world.
But S550 should feel very, very familiar.
And like the carbon look on the dash, is that going to be factory on these cars? Is it an option? Do you know?
I want to say it's included in performance pack.
Okay,
I want to say that's
sense.
included in that style.
Because I remember they did it before. Sometimes they got the metal spun dash. Something that would make perfect sense.
This chassis, though it's pre-production, is based on it's a performance pack chassis.
I'm with you though. The factory exhaust is a bit quiet.
Yes, the dual tip exhaust, very quiet.
Yeah, I say this is I think the quad tip noticeably going to be louder. Obviously, the RTR exhaust will be louder. We'll have tons of options for these two, but yeah, factory I wouldn't mind a little more volume.
Gotta go. It feels like most of the noise you're getting on this dual tip is from like the Symposer too.
Yeah.
I feel like I get a lot of that, not a lot in the rear.
I think a Resonator Elite would do wonders for it though.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
for sure.
And that's what I loved about the quad tip with S550 is that all you needed really, honestly, throw a Resonator Elite on there and you had a really nice sounding exhaust.
And I think that's what, I think all the quad tip owners are going to do that too. It'll be the same thing with this car. It's just such an easy way to go. The power that's mentioned is there.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So what size wheels are on the RTR package?
So the Spec 2 is going to come with standard 20s, and that has an optional staggered or square setup.
Okay.
So if you want to go square, you'll have 20 by 9.5s. If you're going to go staggered, you'll have 9.5 in the front, and you'll have 11 in the rear.
Okay. And out back, are we doing 295s, 305s?
So the plan is to do a 305.
Nice.
I'm just glad they gave us the 6-speed as a pre-peak, because it's 10-speed dominated, right?
Yes.
I mean, as soon as that came out, everything changed, and I'm just glad that.
It took 40 years to get it right, but yeah, the autos have definitely performance-wise, they're there.
I'm glad that they just still believe in the manual, and that, they deleted it from EcoBoost entirely, but I'm glad that they kept it on GT.
That's what's great about the Mustang is you still have that.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to go faster, all about speed, we have to bow down to the 10R80.
Of course.
The 6-speed makes it fun.
I've just always been about the experience of driving. Like
and
it's never been like, how is mine faster than yours? It's just been, do I enjoy driving mine?
Especially something like RTR. Like a brand like this that's about having fun. It's about the experience, 100%. About what the car does for you. You got to have that. Yeah, seriously. Thank you again for bringing this out. Thank you for taking us for a test drive. This thing's cool. I'm hoping we get our hands on one of these permanently maybe at some point. So Josh, a handshake isn't enough, but wow. I mean, I can't believe this car's here. I can't believe you took me for a ride in it. This is still, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be like, this never happened. I can't believe it. But we're so excited with our partnership with RTR and these guys. All these parts you see on this car are going to be available at tjpointedparts.com. So when your Mustang arrives and you get your 2024, definitely look us up. You can make your Mustang look like this.